Kou Yamori closes the door behind him and enthusiastically ventures out in the night. While riding a swing, Kou finds happiness in the darkness, revealing that he can't sleep, simultaneously wishing to spend his nights like this. Things were normal for Kou, or as normal as it can get for a high schooler. However, that changed one day when he got proposed to by a girl. Kou turned her down, saying that he doesn't understand the purpose of dating. After that, he couldn't be bothered with anything and grew to become an insomniac. Kou comes across a vending machine. His online friend suggests him to try booze. With anxious hands, Kou presses the button and a beer comes rolling out. His crime is noticed by a hooded woman, who immediately calls him out. Kou, now frightened, bows down in guilt immediately. The woman assures him and says something that catches Kou's attention. She knows that he can't sleep. The mysterious woman tells Kou that there's only one reason that keeps people up at night. It's because they're dissatisfied with how they spend their day. Kou looks at the girl in surprise. And shit just got real for our protagonist. After a long stroll, the woman asks Kou to follow her to her place. While this is the moment where Kou should run in the opposite direction, he decides to follow her to her apartment. I guess they're not teaching stranger danger in school anymore. Kou finds himself in the oddly empty apartment with a futon sprawled out. The woman coaxes Kou to sleep with her and guarantees that he'll be refreshed by morning. Kou gives in to her persistence and fakes sleeping to get her off his back. The girl smirks darkly. She then brings her mouth closer to his neck and sinks her fangs into Kou's flesh. When Kou wakes up, he asks why he hasn't been turned into a vampire. The woman discloses that in order to become a vampire, he must be bitten by someone he loves. After getting a taste of the nightlife, Kou declares that he'll fall in love with her. The woman blushes and says that she won't do anything except for sucking blood like the vampire she is. She then introduces herself as Nazuna Nanakusa. Kou sneaks out again and meets up with Nazuna, who reveals that for vampires, sucking blood is like eating and copulating. Kou asks her what she wants. Nazuna states that she wants another taste of his blood. Without thinking much of it, Kou pulls his shirt down and asks her to go ahead. Kou's nonchalant response makes Nazuna a blushing mess. While following Nazuna, Kou makes it his life mission to fall in love with her. The next night, Kou tries to search for Nazuna. As he wanders around, he finds himself mesmerized by the nightlife. Nazuna flies down and greets Kou. She reveals that she went to suck some random human. Kou jokingly calls her a slag, and the two banter around until Kou asks her for her phone number. Nazuna tells him that she doesn't own a phone. This, of course, freaks the 14-year-old out. Back at Nazuna's apartment, Kou turns to his side. He finds himself jealous while thinking about how Nazuna went to suck someone else's blood. While Nazuna asks him for a kind sip, Kou turns her down. She then reveals that she was looking for Kou, but was embarrassed to say so. As Nazuna dozes off beside him, Kou realizes that he wants to keep seeing Nazuna. The next night, Kou flashes a transceiver which will help them find each other. Nazuna wears the watch enthusiastically. She then gets the idea of using the transceiver in a game. Kou and Nazuna spend the night playing games together. Kou is greeted by a girl called Akira, who claims to be his friend. She shows him the transceiver and discloses that she never stopped wearing it after he left it on her mailbox. Kou travels back to his past and realizes that he had unintentionally put the receiver on Akira's mailbox. Not having the nerve to tell Akira the truth, Kou awkwardly brings himself to greet her. The two get to talking, and eventually Kou starts hanging out with Akira before she leaves for school. As per usual, Kou sits in the park with Akira by his side. He yells in horror when he sees Nazuna lurking behind a tree. Nazuna comes out and begins teasing Kou in front of Akira. She then sinks her fangs inside of a protesting Kou's neck. This surprises Akira. The trio go to a nearby diner, where Akira asks Kou if Nazuna is the reason why he stopped coming to school. Kou reveals to her that he just couldn't be bothered by school. Understanding the situation, Akira asks him to join her at school. When Nazuna sees Kou hesitating, she gets up and leaves. Kou uses the transceiver to apologize to her. Nazuna appears in front of him, and Kou tells her that he hesitated because he couldn't tell a human that he wishes to become a vampire. Nazuna makes up with Kou and leaves him with a kiss on the lips. After introspecting a lot, Kou comes to the conclusion that a kiss is only shared between two people in love. He concludes that he must be in love with Nazuna and welcomes her excitedly to bite him. As Nazuna takes a sip of his blood, Kou asks why nothing happened. Nazuna mockingly tells him that he mistook the kiss as love. She laughs at him and says that he got confused between love and lust. Annoyed with Nazuna, Kou tells her that it was his first kiss. Nazuna playfully smiles and says that it was hers as well. While roaming in the street, Kou bumps into Akira and invites her to play with him and Nazuna. After beating Kou's butt in video games, Nazuna asks if Akira wants to play with her. If she wins, she'll get a kiss. Akira passes on the offer and finds out that Nazuna has been kissing Kou. She tells Kou that she wants to be supportive, but did he really have to pick an obscene monster? Kou confesses to Akira that he's with Nazuna because he wants to become a vampire, and in doing so, he must fall for her. Nazuna rolls on the futon, all embarrassed. Later, while sleeping together, Akira smiles and wishes that one day Kou would return to school. As the sun takes its exit, Nazuna goes out for a stroll. She ends up in a bathhouse shortly, but before she gets the chance to wash up, the desk manager informs her that her transceiver is going off. Nazuna rushes out to Kou with her hair open. After taking in Nazuna's changed appearance, Kou finds himself blushing. The two go to a bathhouse where Kou thinks about how having fun is an emotional strain too. After the bath, Kou notices the accelerated beat of his heart upon seeing Nazuna. To get the impure thoughts out of his mind, he pleads to Nazuna to suck his blood as it clears his head. He realizes that this give-and-take relationship with Nazuna has changed. Kou finds himself attracted to her and also scared of the new feelings that have taken hold of him. The two enter a raunchy motel room. Nazuna, being a tease, asks Kou if her new appearance bewitched him, to the point that he got confused about his feelings. When Nazuna notices Kou's discomfort, she reveals to him that his emotions make his blood luscious, and so she wants him to feel all sorts of emotions. Later, Nazuna tells Kou that she lured people through her job as a professional cuddler. She then treats Kou to a massage when suddenly a customer comes looking for her service. Nazuna begs Kou to take the client, and in return, she'll reward him with a kiss. A tired Kiyosumi Shirakawa makes her way to Nazumi's apartment in order to unwind work stress by getting a good massage. Once Kiyosumi is all settled in, Kou begins working on her body. Kiyosumi curiously asks why a 14-year-old is working as a masseuse. Kou tells her that he stopped attending school and found comfort at night. Kiyosumi reveals that when she was his age, she used to wander around at night too. While talking about work and the exhaustion that follows, Kiyosumi bursts into tears. Suddenly, her phone goes off. With tears in her eyes, Kiyosumi mumbles that it's her boss. In a daze, she gets up to leave for work. Kou realizes that Kiyosumi is awfully a lot like him. He snaps and tells her that she's not going anywhere. In an attempt to knock some sense into her, Kou tells Kiyosumi that he wants to become a vampire, and while his dream may be crazy, it's certainly not as crazy as her boss, who calls her at odd hours to come into work. Upon hearing Kou's insane logic, Kiyosumi ends up laughing out loud, and after some heartfelt laughter, Kiyosumi turns to leave. Nazuna suggests to Kou that they should try a nighttime pool. After reaching the place, Kou notices that men are flocking around Nazuna. This makes him envious. He grabs Nazuna's hand and leaves. Nazuna then grabs Kou and takes him to swim in his school's pool, where it's just the two of them. A sudden rain shower leads to Kou meeting up with a blonde-haired woman. She tells Kou that she turned down a man because she doesn't bring just anyone to her place. While listening to her, Kou thinks to himself that her way of enjoying the night is a little too dangerous. While following the blonde girl, Kou listens to her talk about how she's fed up with being agreeable. While he assures her, the girl hugs him. As she's bringing her teeth to bite him, Nazuna appears and blows her hand off. The girl picks up her arm and pieces it back together. She mocks Nazuna for hanging out with a human and not making him her offspring. Suddenly, another vampire appears and takes Kou with her on a rooftop. Kou is greeted by a group of vampires. Nico Harada orders Kou to pick a vampire. The vampire he picks will then turn him into a vampire. Nico introduces him to Kabura, Midori, and Hatsuka. The vampires then try to seduce Kou by talking sweetly. Meanwhile, Nazuna confesses to Sari that she does intend to make Kou her offspring. Back at the vampire hangout, the girls tell Kou that if he doesn't intend on being a vampire, they'll have to kill him, which isn't something they enjoy doing. Kou tells them that he does want to become a vampire, and that's why he'll fall in love with Nazuna. Speaking of the devil, Nazuna appears on the rooftop and goes beetroot upon hearing Kou's words. After Kou assures the vampires that he's fully on board with being a vampire, they allow him and Nazuna to continue their relationship. To Kou's surprise, Nico informs him that time is running out on him. If he doesn't fall in love with Nazuna in a year, then he'll never qualify to become a vampire. Nazuna smiles cheekily and says that she forgot about that little piece of information. While flying with Nazuna, Kou tells her that he's grateful he met her. Later, when Kou meets with Akira, he tells her about the previous night's events. Akira points out how Kou technically has only 1 year to live if he fails to fall in love with Nazuna. At school, Akira runs into another good student who tells her that he's sleepy because he's been having fun at night. Mahiru adds that he meets up with a girl that he likes that only comes out at night. The next day, Kou runs into Siri, who advises him to take Nazuna on a date. He takes her advice and takes Nazuna to the cinema, who immediately starts complaining while watching the rom-com. Nazuna figures out that it was Siri that put the idea in his head. She gets up and leaves, but later comes by Kou's window. The two then go skydiving. Nazuna tells him that what they do is plenty of fun for her. Later, Kou runs into Mahiru. Akira joins the boys and the trio has a good time catching up. When Kou notices Siri's gloomy eyes, he offers to hang out with her. Upon Siri's suggestion, the two go to a karaoke club, where the vampire girl reveals that she's super popular. Suddenly, a boy knocks on their club door aggressively. He calls out to Siri, who tells a scared Kou that the boy has gotten obsessed with her. When Kou tells her to confront the boy, Siri nonchalantly tells him that he can just kill the human if it gets messy. Enraged by Siri's words, Kou calls the vampire kind arrogant. When things get heated, the boy bursts through the door. Knowing that the human is in danger, Kou takes him by the hand and runs to a safe distance. The boys get to talking, and Akihito tells Kou that it was pure luck that he stumbled upon Siri. Things escalated between them, and even though he knows Siri was just flirting with him, he got obsessed with her. All of a sudden, Siri shows up and lunges to attack Kou. Nazuna appears from above like Kou's personal guardian angel and grips Siri. When asked why she wants to kill Akihito, Siri shyly tells him that she loved being friends with Akihito, and knowing it wouldn't work, she decided to finish him. After letting go of Siri, Kou tells her to listen to her heart. Siri tearfully admits to Akihito that it was fun being his friend. Akihito then asks her to turn him into her offspring so they can continue their friendship. Midori manages to coax Nazuna to help her out in the vampire-themed maid cafe. While waiting for Nazuna to finish her shift, Kou is greeted by a maid named Arisa. Fascinated by her, Kou tells her that it's like he's in an anime. After the shift, Midori finds out that someone has been taking Arisa's pictures without her consent. Midori turns to Kou for help. Detective Kou gets to work with Nazuna as his helper. As he begins to assess the angels from the balcony, something clicks and he tells Nazuna that he might have just figured out who the culprit is. Nazuna compliments him on his detective skills. Kou declares that if he doesn't get to be a vampire, he'll just become a detective instead. After telling Nazuna to take cover, he hides with Midori. Arisa appears shortly, and just as Kou had guessed, it was Arisa herself who took the raunchy selfies. After getting caught red-handed, Arisa asks how he figured it out. Kou reveals that the pictures were too good and put together. At the end of the day, it was Kou's horny mind that saved the day. While trying to bag some customers for Nazuna's business as a cuddler and a masseuse, Kou runs into a detective called Anko. Anko reveals to him that she's searching for a boy called Akihito. Kou gets scared and hesitantly lies to Anko that he doesn't know who Akihito is. Anko thanks Kou and leaves. Later, Kou, Mahiru, and Akira enter their school to goof around. Upon Mahiru's insistence, they go to a classroom to check out an urban legend about a missing teacher. Their worst nightmares come true when they find the teacher in the middle of the room. In a mad frenzy, the teacher jumps on Akira, ready to devour her. Kou notices his pattern and realizes that he's a vampire. Anko appears in the hallway and allows the teacher to take blood from her. Anko pieces two and two together and tells the kids that the teacher resisted the urge to drink blood for 10 years, and today, well, it was his breaking point. The vampire cries while hugging Anko. She offers him salvation by placing a silver ring on his hand. When the sun comes up, the vampire turns to ashes. Kou protests Anko's way of dealing with things. Anko grabs his shirt and tells him that he doesn't know anything about vampires. Kou tells his frightening experience with the vampire teacher and Anko to Nazuna. After listening to him, she takes him for a stroll that helps him calm down. Later, Mahiru asks Kou why he wants to become a vampire. Kou hesitates to answer Mahiru's question. All of his logic and reasoning mixes up in his head. Mahiru shakes him up and asks him to think hard upon why he's so hell-bent on turning himself into a blood-sucking monster. After Nazuna convinces Kou to take her to his home, the two talk about the uncertainty he's been feeling regarding his decision. Nazuna finds herself dejected when Kou tells her that he's happy with how things are. She offers some insight to him by telling him that he found nighttime exhilarating because it was out of the ordinary, but now since it's become a norm for him, he doesn't enjoy himself as much as he did on the first night. Kou meets up with Anko and asks her why she's against the vampires. She tells him that vampires cause inconveniences for humans. Anko maliciously warns Kou to remain human or she'll hunt him down and kill him like she'll kill all the vampires lurking in the darkness. After following Hatsuka home, Kou learns that Hatsuka is a guy who likes cross-dressing. Meanwhile, Nazuna goes to convince the vampires to let Kou live as a human being. Nico takes her fury out on the table and asks Nazuna why she's making Kou an exception. The word reaches Hatsuka, who says to Kou that he should become his offspring. After all, that's the only way he'll be able to save Nazuna from Nico. Kou refuses and tells Hatsuka that he only intends to fall in love with Nazuna. After learning from Nico that Nazuna has left, Kou runs and finds Nazuna by the vending machine. He tells her that he has fun with her and wants to spend his life with her. Upon hearing this, Nazuna kisses Kou hard and promises to herself that she'll become a vampire worth loving. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one.